welcome to another Tonic Craft Kit unboxing video. Today's one is for kit number 40 and it is the Pivot gift box. So I'm not 100% sure if I've put it together how it is supposed to go together, but I hope I have because I've done a photographic step-by-step to go on the Tonic blog. But I think why it's called a Pivot gift box is because the top, you kind of take the top and flip it around the other way and it gives you the bottom, so it's kind of pivoted around to give you the bottom. I think that's why it's called that. But I will show you what it looks like, and at the end of this video I will do a construction as well, but because I've already done the photographic step-by-step putting it together how I think it's supposed to go together, the construction at the end is going to be just slightly different because I thought of a nice way that you might be able to change the opening for the lid as well. So I thought I'd show you that in the construction at the end. So let's get in with into the unboxing. So first of all, I'll show you the Nuvo. So let me just tip it into the box. Right. So okay, I'll start with the Glimmer paste because I've got the full-size pot to show you, but I'm pretty certain you're getting a mini one in the kit. And this is the Glimmer paste in Rich Cocoa. So it's a really deep, dark chocolate brown kind of a colour. I can, oops, I'm getting little crummy bits everywhere. You can see how gorgeous of a brown colour that is. And in past kits actually we've had a few different bottles of exclusive brown glitters and sequins and stuff, and I think this would go really nicely with all of those products too, because you can, although it is a glimmer paste that's full of glitter, you can always add more glitter to it as well. And speaking of that, you also get red glitter in this month's kit. This is the little ruby red glitter. I think this one came out in the Jingle Bells release of glitters and sequins and confettis. You got like a set of 4 and it had like Festival Gold and Olive Green and something else as well, and then you had the red in there too. I think this is from that release, but a lovely little bottle of ruby red glitter. This is really gorgeous actually. I on one of the cards that I'll show you, I put this onto some double-sided self-adhesive sticky sheets, and then I stuck the sheet onto some of the mirror card that you're getting in this kit, and I think it gives this even more of like a rich ruby red kind of a colour, because you're sort of seeing the mirror card in any of the little gaps behind it, which I think looks really good. I didn't tell you many uses for the Glimmer paste, I usually do that, but I think Glimmer paste is a really nice versatile kind of product that you don't usually think of being that versatile, because you kind of just think, oh, you just scrape it through a stencil, but you can also do the kind of squish technique onto acetate. It looks really great on that because it really holds the texture of that like little peaky texture that you get, because it dries rock solid. It really holds that texture nicely. You can also use it on any sort of mixed media canvases. You can use it as a glue on that kind of project, so you could sort of spread it out like thickly in some areas and place sort of buttons, gems, all sorts of stuff into it, and then it will dry rock solid as well. Or on the finished box that I did in the photographic step-by-step that should be on the Tonic blog, I also used this just with my finger and dabbed it onto some of the brown cardstock that you're getting in the kit, just to make it look a little bit sparkly, and I think it works really nicely in that kind of application as well. And obviously the glitter, ruby red glitter, really great for all kind of different applications. You can obviously add it into this to give you a reddy brown kind of a glitter. You can also use it on your double-sided sticky sheet. You can stamp with glue and use it on that as well. You can get sticky heat embossing powder and use it with that. All sorts of different uses for glitter. You can even use it in your shaker cards as well if you want to, and you can sprinkle it into other kind of backgrounds as well. It wouldn't stick with like Aquaflows or your Nuvo shimmer powders or anything, but if you're using something like doing the squishy technique with your Dream Drops or your gloss drops or your vintage drops, you know, you can sprinkle some of this into that and it would dry and stay into the background as well. So loads of different ideas with glitters too. Then the next thing we're getting is another mini product. This is the Mica Mist, and this is Crimson Velvet. I think this came out in the 2019 colour trends. The festive, no, it was Merry and Bright, I think, Merry and Bright. I'm getting muddled with all my colour trends now. There's been so many of them. Difficult to keep track, but Crimson Velvet, it's a really gorgeous colour, and shake well before use, it says it on there as well. And with your Mica Mist, you can do, again, all sorts of different techniques with them. You can obviously just spray it straight onto a background, and you can do it on black or white or any colour in between and get completely different results as well. You can also stamp with your Mica Mist. You can just take the uptake tube out of it and splatter with it as well. You can use it in conjunction with other wet products from Nuvo, so you could like squeeze out some of your Aquaflow pens and add some of this into it to give it that shimmery feel. You can make it more glittery by using some of your Aqua Shimmer pens with it. You could use your Nuvo shimmer powders with it as well. You could even mix in sparkle sprays and all sorts of stuff that could go with this as well. You can also just use it to create your own pearlescent cardstock too. I think for best results, if you were trying to make a red pearlescent card, start with just the red Craft Perfect and spray onto it, and it'll give you that gorgeous pearlescent finish. And for my box that I'll show you later, I did actually do that onto the cardstock before I die cut it as well. So I'll show you that too. So that is the Crimson Velvet Mica Mist, and you're getting the mini one as well. The large one is this size, so getting the mini one in the kit, it means they can give you more Nuvo products, you know, within the price of the kit, but it also means that you can try them out and see if you like them. And I think all of the colours we've had in mini Mica Mist have all been colours that you can get in a larger bottle as well, which is really good. So if you decide you really like this one, you can go for the large bottle as well if you want to, which is really great. Or you can invest in some different colours too to go with the red one. Then you're also getting a full-sized Nuvo drop. You've got a stone drop this month. And it is the Fiery Volcano colour. I really like the stone drops. I don't use them as much as I should because they're kind of slightly further out of reach than my normal Nuvo drops. But I really should use them more. And I do love this red colour. It's a very glossy kind of colour. I did a video on the stone drops. I think it was an up-close video. And I'm sure I said in it that some of them are like a pearlescent finish and some of them are a gloss finish, but the red is more of like a gloss. So imagine, if you've never seen a stone drop before, imagine a gloss Nuvo drop that they've just added some kind of texture to, and so when it dries, it kind of dries like a jelly tot. It sort of feels like that texture of sugar on the outside of a sweet. But yeah, really lovely. I love the stone drops, and you can do loads of different techniques with them as well. You can stencil with them, although some of the colours, I think red is one of them, seem to be a slightly looser consistency, so it does kind of bleed a little bit more under your stencil, but it still works really nicely and gives you more of like a distressed, grungy kind of a look, which is really nice. You can also stamp with stone drops too. I don't know if I put that video up yet, but I did a video where I had actually made a foam stamp and I was stamping with stone drops and did it like a resist and let it dry and then inked over it. But I cannot remember if I've put that video up. I think it had adorable characters in it. But anyway, you can stamp with it. Obviously, you can just do normal Nuvo drops with it. You can do the squishing technique with it. You can swirl your Nuvo drops as well. You can put like stone drops down. I wouldn't really recommend swirling a second stone drop on top of a stone drop because it doesn't stay as defined. But if you took like gloss white and did a swirl of gloss white on top of the red stone drop, it looks absolutely amazing because the gloss white is very precise and you know, stays in that proper swirl design, and it looks like kind of like a peppermint candy as well. So yeah, great lot of uses you can get out of stone drops. And then the final Nuvo thing is a packet of their twine, or a spool of their twine. So this is the Pewter Grey Striped Baker's Twine. You get 25 metres on here and they really do last a long time. This is my original roll. I think they must have come out maybe more than 2 years ago. Time's going so quickly, it's difficult to remember. But I use the grey one a lot and I've still got this much on there. So they really do last a long, long time. And all of the Baker's Twine that Craft Perfect do, the reason why it's in the Craft Perfect range is because it matches their colours of cardstock. So in this kit we do actually get a sheet of pewter grey cardstock and the twine is pewter grey as well, so you actually get the match for it, which is brilliant. And obviously loads of things you can do with Baker's Twine. You can just use it to go through gift tags, you can tie it around your card, you can tie bows with it, you could even unwind it and use like the individual strands as well. If you've got any of the tonic dies that kind of have slightly larger holes in them, you could thread this through your needle and you could sew around them as well. And you can even split this even further as well for different kind of techniques. You could have like a little frayed piece of twine on a certain project, or all sorts of different things. I think actually this, if you frayed out the grey, wouldn't that look really good as like an elephant's tail or something, or a donkey's tail, something like that on a card, and you could actually have a 3D tail with all like the hairs in it. But yeah, loads of different things you can do with your baker's twine. Make tassels as well. You can do those cards, I can't remember what it's called, where you have lots of the holes going like across the card and you do the sewing between them as well. You can do that kind of thing with this, whether you're using it as the whole thing or twisting it out into the white and the grey separately, or using some of the finer strands in it as well. So all sorts of different ways of using your baker's twine too. Then I'll show you the cardstock. So we have got 8 sheets of cardstock again this month. I haven't put them in the right order though, so bear with me whilst I find the names of them. So let's find this one first. So this is the Pewter grey cardstock. So this is the one I was just showing you that matches perfectly with the twine, and it's got the textured linen on one side, and then the other side is smooth, and you can see how absolutely perfectly the baker's twine matches with the cardstock as well. So they go really, really nicely together. And any of your, I mean, this is a 3D dimensional die set with this kit, so you can use this to add your gift tags onto the box, or it's a reasonably small kind of box. You could even make it so that it hung as well, and use the twine to hang it too. But I mean, we're always getting sort of different dies that would make really great gift tags, and having a spool of neutral coloured twine is really useful because it will kind of go with any sort of colour scheme. And actually the colours for this year, they're this colour and yellow, aren't they? So you know, that would go perfectly with any projects that you want to do with the yellow and grey colour scheme as well. So really great to have that neutral colour. So that is the Pewter Grey Classic cardstock. Then let me try and do them in the order I've got them here. So this is the Maroon Red Classic cardstock, which is a beautiful red. It's almost a little bit pinky, but it's a really gorgeous colour with that texture on one side and then the smooth on the other side. So that is Maroon Red. Then you're also getting Opera Red Mirror Card. So this is the mirror card. You can really see everything reflecting in it. I think that is kind of showing the true colour though. It's if you've ever had the Rustic Dusk mirror card, it's a slightly reddier version of that. They're very similar in colour, so they would go really nicely together, but it's like a slightly redder version. So it's, I guess, putting it the other way around, it's a slightly brown red rather than saying it's a slightly redder brown. But yeah, it is pretty much the colour that you're seeing it there on the camera, and that's a high gloss mirror card, and that's the Opera Red colour. Then we have also got this one, which is the Black Velvet mirror card. So this is actually a satin mirror card. I don't know whether you're, yeah, you can kind of see that satin sort of finish on there. Really gorgeous. Okay, then let me just move my list up. We've also got the specialty cotton handmade paper that Craft Perfect do, and this is the Red Berries one. I love this one so much. It's so gorgeous. I was actually on one of my cards where I used the Mica Mist. You know, was it the previous video or the one before that? I think it was just the previous one. The previous craft kit video where I showed you the technique where you can spray onto these cotton papers and then like pick up an impression. I was trying something a little bit different, spraying onto the cardstock first and then just taking a small portion of this and just pressing it into the ink while it was wet, and then it kind of left an impression in the puddles but also moved some around the rest of the card as well. So that's another way of using it too. It's kind of like bubble wrap really, this one. I mean, it's not obviously not exactly bubble wrap, but it's kind of when you tap it into the ink, it kind of gives the look as if you've maybe put tiny bubble wrap in it to get that kind of look. So that is the red berries. Then I love this one. I got quite a few packets of this actually, because they had it reduced on the website. I don't know if it's still on there, but it was like only £1.50 for a packet of 5 sheets, so I thought it was pretty good. But this is the Umber Etching Specialty Luxury Embossed Cardstock. So it's a gorgeous browny bronzy colour, really, really lovely. And it's got that beautiful floral design on it. I think there are a few other colours with this same floral design, but I have to say this one is one of my favourites because it gives that kind of vintage sort of a look, and I really love the design that's on there too, the little flowers and the roses and stuff. Really, really pretty, especially if you use it in little small sections and try and frame it behind apertures. I think it's really effective that way as well. But if you do die cut it, you can still see parts of the pattern on there, so it gives it kind of like a different look as well. Then we also have the Glazed Chestnut double-sided pearlescent cardstock too. I think mine's got a little, well, it's just got a little rock in it, but really, really gorgeous colour. It's got like browns, coppers, maybe even a tiny bit of gold in there too, and it is double-sided, which I love about their pearlescent cardstock, is that it's double-sided. Because if you ever have any of like flower dies, for example, you might want to cut them out of a gorgeous pearlescent cardstock, but usually they have a white back to them, and then when you're shaping the petals you can kind of see the white back. But because these are double-sided, it works really nicely for kind of flowers, foliage, all sorts of things like that, where you might see the other side of the cardstock when it's on your card. So brilliant for that. And then we finally get one sheet of their smooth cardstock in black, which is 300 GSM. So this came out not that long ago. I've still not actually tried it. There's white, black and ivory, and they come in packs of 5 sheets, like the specialty kind of cardstock from Tonic, but really heavyweight cardstock. So if you want stuff for proper like construction of more simple boxes and stuff like that, it's a really nice heavyweight cardstock to use as well. And it's a lovely matte black kind of a colour. It die cuts really nicely too. I've used it to die cut some of the intricate dies in this month's kit, and it works really nicely. So that is all of the cardstock from this month's kit. And then what you've all been waiting for, I'll show you the dies and the stamps. I haven't got the sticker from this month's kit, but it says crafting makes everything better, which again is very true. They're always very good with their little quotes on their stickers, so that's what the sticker says on it. So I've already put mine onto an A5 magnetic sheet like I always do, but it comes on the 2 acetate sheets in the little folders as well, but you can store it however you like. So I'll show you the little stamp set first. I'll take out the acetate and put it on some white card. So this is the gorgeous little stamp set. Sorry, this one's a bit difficult to read. I've used that one quite a few times. So you've got little sentiments that will work on cards really nicely, but they also go absolutely perfectly on the gift tag that's in here to use on your boxes as well, which is really lovely. And you've got 5 different ones to choose from, and there's even die cut sentiments in there as well. So you've got Just to Say, which I really love that mixture of the 2 fonts. This one that's hard to read says thank you so much, which is one of my favourite kind of sentiments to use on cards. I'm always saying thank you on cards. It's all yours, from me to you, and then a little something you might like. So they're perfect for sort of gift boxes, although these 2 are perfect just for cards and from me to you as well. Then you've also got this beautiful little heart down here too. And then I love these ones. They are really gorgeous. This design is so brilliant. You can tessellate it really nicely. I was kind of stamping it off from each other, and the construction that I'll show you, I had actually stamped it all over the box to give me like a different pattern, so I didn't have to use all the decorative patterns for it. And look how lovely it tessellates. Really, really nice. I mean, you can tessellate it in all different kind of ways as well, but this was just me randomly stamping it. You know, I stamped sort of, I started down here, I stamped one here, and then I just stamped it off here, and then I did it up again, and then I was like, oh, it actually perfectly all fits together. So, and I'll also show you, I'll show you now actually. So this is the lid portion of the box, which I still haven't shown you yet, it fits absolutely perfectly on the smaller tab of the lid and also on the larger tab of the lid as well, so that's why they've made it that shape. But it does perfectly tessellate to create an entire pattern as well, which is brilliant. So that is that gorgeous design there. And then if you wanted to extend this design, you've also got this gorgeous little flower with a couple of swirls and a leaf. And then if you were going to use this all over the box like I have on the other one, you've also got this corner piece so you can decorate side pieces and stuff and add extra designs on there as well. So all of those little designs go absolutely perfectly together to build up whatever kind of pattern that you're looking for. You could even stamp that one 4 times and it would give you kind of a circular motif in the centre as well. So lots of different ways of playing with the little stamp set, which is great. Then what you've all been waiting for is the actual die set from this month. So this is the Pivot gift box die set. So as I said before, I think I've constructed it the way it's supposed to be made, which I've ended up with this little box here. And the reason why I think it's called a pivot gift box is because it's kind of pivoted round. So this is the lid. And if you have the lid on this way, the bottom is kind of flipped upside down and twisted to be the base of it. So I think that's why it's called the pivot gift box. But I think it makes a really gorgeous, lovely little gift box. Really lovely little design, and you can even use the fall away pieces to decorate as well. I'll show you this again in more detail in a minute, but I wanted to actually show you what it looks like as well. So to create that, you need slightly more than an A4 sheet to just cut out all the base pieces, and for the base pieces you would need 2 of this piece, 2 of this piece. So one creates the top and one creates the bottom, and then 2 of each of these. So these ones actually are the side panels of the lid and the base, and so you've already got the glue tab to stick onto this part of the side panel. This part sticks onto the top of the lid, and that part will stick onto that longer section there, and then you have the opposite to go on the other side. So you need 2 of both of these, 2 of this and 2 of this to create your actual base for your box, and then the rest of it is all just kind of decoration and kind of different shaped little panels that are actually ingenious because of the way they sort of fit into the gift box. Like this panel here, the way you flip the lid and put it on the bottom, they've actually given you a panel that absolutely perfectly fits in that little gap to decorate the side of it. I just think that's so lovely that they've given you that little panel. But also this panel, which is the top and the bottom, actually fits perfectly along the side as well, which I'm going to show you in my construction at the end of the video too. So yeah, I really think they've thought about the design really nicely. And as with all tonic dies, if I haven't put it together how it's meant to go together, it doesn't really matter. There's loads of different ways you can put them together. I mean, I'm going to show you a different way as well, and you can always instead of having your box just this height, and then this is the width of the side, there's nothing to stop you from double cutting this and then hiding the seam, or extending the die cut, you know, when you sort of partially die cut bits and then you move the die up, or even just taking the dimensions from this and scoring on your scoreboard to make a taller box, and you could have a really tall rectangular box then as well. So there are really loads of different ways of making this box your own, or even using all of the different pieces to create different kind of boxes as well. Like this lid piece, I think this kind of looks like a perpetual calendar box. You know, you could do something, maybe cut this front piece off so that it's not hiding anything here, and then you could have like the little blocks with like the January, February, March, April and the cubes that turn round. But it just reminds me of one of those kind of things. Or maybe you sell small bath bombs or handmade bars of soap or chocolates or something. This could just be your display for it. You could put it in there and then add some cellophane around it, and it would make a cute little box to sort of keep it nice and everything. So I think there's loads of different ways of using this die set for all sorts of different types of boxes and stuff as well. So I think it's a really good one to have in your stash. And also these little pieces too, really useful. These little corners, they can go on any box. It doesn't matter what size of box you use them on. All the corners are relatively that kind of a size when you see these sort of leather corners on things. So really great to have all those kind of different dies in there as well. So I'll show you the rest of this die set up close. That little corner piece is this funny looking die here. so it cuts you the 3 little corners with that kind of divot in the middle of them, and they even have a debossed design in them as well. And then you have the little glue tab to glue it together, and then you have like a little 3-sided piece that fits over the corner of your box. Extra little dies as well. You've got this one here, which I think is supposed to be a clasp to do like a closure mechanism. I might give that a go on the one I'm going to do at the end, but I haven't cut any of them out yet. And I think this piece is possibly a way of like hanging it on the back, or you could use it for any kind of hanging things actually. I'm not sure what else. Or it could be for making some kind of interactive pull tab or something. All sorts of different ways you can use any of these little dies. This one says a gift for you with a little heart, and that one is a deboss one. I didn't actually deboss that one. This one cuts out the word enjoy, which I used on the gift tag for my box, and I also used it to create a stencil that I then used the glimmer paste through on one of my cards as well. Then these are the 2 side pieces of the top and the bottom. And you also have the matching mat and layer that goes with them, and then the little intricate design to go on them as well. This is the gorgeous little gift tag that you get in there, so you can use your baker's twine with that. The sentiment that is inside that says with love, and it's got a little scrolly design at the bottom. You also get the little mat and layer that goes perfectly on that, and it also means you can either cut this sentiment out and stick it on top of there, or you can actually cut that solid panel out and use the stamps and stamp your sentiment onto there as well, or you could stamp it straight onto the gift tag too. And this one actually says thank you on there, so you've got a gorgeous little thank you in a landscape orientation as well. Then these are those 2 really clever panels that go on the side to sort of fill in the design of where the lids kind of on the lid and the bottom kind of intersect with each other, which I think is really clever, and it's just a really nice shape as well. I actually used it as an aperture multiple times down one of my cards too, just for something different. And then the final part is just all of the intricate panels to decorate the lid, or you could use this for the side, you know, the bottom. You can line the inside as well, all sorts of different things. And you've got the basic mats that go on there just with a straight cutting edge on them, and then you've got the gorgeous designs that are in there as well. And then again, these are absolutely perfect for your card making too, and I'll show you that in some of my samples as well. So I'll be back in 1 second with my card samples to show you and the box, and then I'll do the construction as well. Okay, so these are the cards that I've done. So I really love that rectangular panel that can go on the top of the box or the side of the box. So I thought, why not cut it like 3 times to go across the card, and it actually fits perfectly. This is like a kind of A2 sort of sized card that I always make. So it's 5.5 inches or 14 centimetres by 4.25 inches or 10.5 centimetres. So 3 of them fit absolutely perfectly on this kind of size of card. Although if you were doing an A6 card, it would be slightly longer than this. If you had like cut all 3 of them into panels, you could then just move them slightly further apart, and it would fit really nicely on a standard A6 card as well. So whether you like the American A2 or the like UK kind of A6 size, it should work nicely for both, having 3 of these. Or you could even do 2 of these and then one with the scallopy end, which is the piece that goes on the front flap of the box, or even one of these in the middle and 2 of the scallopy ones on either side to give a different look as well. So the central portion of this I cut into my card panel, and then I put some of the satin black mirror card behind the aperture, and I've also put a few of the what's it called again, fiery volcano stone drops just in a few of the squares. And then behind these ones I've used the gorgeous this as well, the black is cut from the 300 GSM card from the kit, and you can see how absolutely beautifully it cuts out. I mean, all the white card that I use is 300 GSM anyway, but I thought I'd definitely show you that the Tonic 300 works really nicely for intricate die cuts as well. And then so behind this I've used the ruby red glitter. I just used some of the Craft Perfect double-sided adhesive sheets, put the die cuts over the top, added the glitter, and then before I stuck them down, because it was double-sided, I then peeled off the backing and stuck it to some of the opera red mirror card from the kit as well to really show through, because when I was holding the piece up that I'd put the glitter onto, I could kind of see through it, and I thought maybe if I put it onto white card you might be able to see white showing through, and I wanted it to be really red. So I thought if I stick it on the red mirror card, it will help with like filling in any of the gaps where the glitter might not have completely stuck and stuff. So I think that looks really nice. A very different card for me. I don't often use black, white and red as a colour scheme. I know Dawny does a lot, and it does look really gorgeous actually. I might have to use that a bit more often, but really lovely, that one. Then I did something a little bit more different just to show you how you can use the wacky kind of shaped panels. So this is one of the ones that fits on the side of the box perfectly in that gap. You could do this with the other panel as well and have it coming up and almost give like a fancy chevron sort of shape as well, but I just chose one of them and did the sort of downwards diagonal on the side, and I just cut 4 of them above each other or below each other, and then used some of the specialty papers and cardstock from the kit behind the apertures as well. So I've used the gorgeous handcrafted cotton paper behind there, and then also that etched one as well. You see how beautiful, just a tiny portion of that etched one, so one of your sheets can go a really long way just using tiny bits of it like that. I really love that. And also using this colour scheme, because I've actually used the grey, the red and the brown all together. I don't think I've ever used that kind of a colour scheme on a card too, so I think that looks really nice as well. And then this stamping was just using the Metro Grey ink pad from Nuvo. This doesn't come in the kit, but we've had this recently in a kit, this small one, or you can use the big one as well. I think I showed both of them in the video. But yeah, I just stamped that a couple of times, and this is where it repeats, where you can just flip it round and stamp it again and sort of match up the design to repeat it across a longer strip. And then I've also used the grey baker's twine. I just put 2 pieces down the card, slightly staggered them offset, mainly because this is wonky and these ones aren't quite in a straight line, they kind of come out a little bit, but to disguise that you wouldn't really know from that far back that they're wonky, because you've put these 2 at a wonky angle to kind of disguise it. And then instead of trying to fiddle with wrapping this around twice and getting a nice neat bow, I just put the 2 strips on and then tied another bit around it and added the bow on that way, and I think that works really nicely. And then to finish it off, I just used some of the stone drops as little accents as well, and put one of the sentiments on there. So that is one of the stamps, but stamping it in the bit that's supposed to go in the middle of the gift tag, but just using it as a separate little mat and sticking it onto some of the opera red mirror card and then trimming it out with scissors as well. Oh, and I've said before in previous videos that I love using these scissors for my fussy cutting. However, I know if you hold them a certain way you don't get as many of the serrated bits on your project that you're cutting, but I think because my hand starts to hurt when I'm cutting, I hold my scissors at a different angle and then I end up getting the serrated bits. So I've actually been really enjoying these scissors recently. The handles aren't quite as comfy. They are squidgy, but they're just not quite as comfy to hold as these ones. But these blades, I really like these blades, and they don't have a serration on them. These are the ones that come in the tin. They're the Tim Holtz ones that come in the tin. They are slightly more on the pricey side, but they're often on offer, and you can get like the small one and the big one for like the same price as the big set or something. But I do really like these for my fussy cutting at the moment, so they're worth looking into if you're after a new pair of fussy cutting scissors. I obviously still use these ones too. Just if that serration bugs you, then these ones are much better for fussy cutting. And then the third card that I did, so these are all in one sped up video, which will be the sped up video for this month for the kit. This one I did the mica spray all over the background, and then this is where I took this little scrap of the cotton handmade paper, and after I'd put these sort of puddles down, I just pressed into it and like moved it around, and you can see how it's kind of given an impression into the puddle, but it's also transferred some of the colour elsewhere as well, so it just gives a different look to the background, which I think looks really nice. And then what I was saying, I think I chucked it in the bin because it got mucky, but I made the enjoy word into a stencil. So you just literally cut that small little enjoy. So let me get it off the sheet. So this little enjoy you can just cut that into a piece of scrap cardstock, and it doesn't have an outside cutting edge, so you can leave it as big as you want depending on how far away you want them from each other, or how messy you are with putting paste through a stencil, and how much area you want around it, so you won't like get the paste in the wrong place on your card. And then you can just scrape your glimmer paste through it, and it gives a gorgeous little stenciled word then as well. And I've just used it as kind of like, sorry, I nearly dropped it then, kind of like a background element on there too. And then I just used a Dymo label for the rest of the sentiment, so it kind of goes, enjoy your birthday, as the whole kind of sentiment. And I just added some extra stone drops on this background too, to kind of give more of an overall pattern. It kind of looks more like a pattern paper because they're sort of evenly spaced, as well as the enjoys. Then I've used a little bit of that etched cardstock down the side as well, a little bit of the mirror card, just to like hide where I've cut the panel smaller. It just sort of makes it look a little bit more finished. And then I've used that scallopy kind of piece that is supposed to go on the lid of the box, just as like a main little decorative panel. You'll see in the video I kind of ummed and ahed about how to lay this card out quite a few times. I couldn't make my mind up. It doesn't look like the design I'd drawn out, because I was planning on using the straight rectangle, but then I was like, why use this straight rectangle on another card? I might as well show you how to use this one. So I did this one as well in the end. So those are the 3 cards that I made with this month's kit, and that is in one sped up video. Then this is what the kit actually makes, which I showed you briefly earlier. That's using the little enjoy. I did it at a jaunty angle on the gift tag, and I actually did it double-sided, just because why not? Might as well do it double-sided. And then this is the little pivot gift box, and I actually stuck the bottom onto this one. I think that's what you're supposed to do, but you could leave it off if you wanted to for a different kind of box. You know, it's just kind of like the inside tubey kind of portion with the bottom, you know, the bottom of the box at the bottom. So I just stuck that together using Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive, and I show that exactly how to make this entire box in photographic step-by-step form with writing on the Tonic blog. And I've also just used like some of the waste pieces from the top and bottom panels. All of these are like perfect squares in here, and I've just used those to create like a little diamond pattern along there too, because on the front of the box I put the twine around it, so it kind of hides that little empty portion with the twine, but then on the back it was kind of open, so I thought those little diamonds would work really perfectly there. And you could have put them across the front as well if you wanted to, if you didn't want the twine around it. Oh, and this, what I was saying earlier about dabbing the glimmer paste onto cardstock. So the cardstock I used behind these intricate panels is the etched one with the flowers. You can kind of see a bit of the flower here. I thought, because it was a pattern and I was putting another pattern over the top of it, it kind of looked a little bit too busy and you couldn't quite tell what the front pattern was. So that's where I decided to take some of the Rich Cocoa Glimmer Paste just with my finger and pat it all over the panel to give it a slightly glittery effect and to kind of tone down the pattern a little bit. So that's how I did all of the little side pieces, and then I stuck the intricate piece over the top. So that is my one that I think is the proper way of making this box. But then I thought, as I was making it, well, wouldn't it be nice if you could attach this so it kind of like hinged rather than completely came off? I thought a hinged box would be really nice. So for my construction, I thought I would show you the kind of the other colourway from the kit. Rather than mixing the two colours together, I kind of went for the brown and the red for this one. And then I've gone for the grey and the black for this one, and I'm going to show you how to create a kind of flip top lid. Bear in mind I haven't done this before, so this we'll be doing it together, but I think it's going to work. So I've got all the pieces ready, so we're back in a second. Okay, so to do this kind of flip top version, you basically need all the same pieces that you need for the normal one. So for the normal one and for this one, we're going to be using two of the side panels. This has the shorter panel and the longer panel with the glue tab on, and I've just stamped all over these with the Metro Grey ink pad. And oh yeah, I've used the Craft Perfect for both of mine. So the Craft Perfect is, you know, the textured one is definitely strong enough for making all these boxes. And for this one, I die cut it on the smooth side so that I could stamp on it more easily. So that is the smooth side, and then the textured side is going to be on the inside, whereas on the red one I had sprayed it with the Mica Mist onto the textured side to give more of a textured kind of a look. So you know, you can do it either way around depending what kind of look you're going for, which is really nice. So you need 2 of these pieces, and then we're going to be using 2 of these pieces, which is, this one's going to be the bottom, that's why I didn't splatter anything there, and this one is going to be the top. Then we need 2 of each, oops, dropped a piece. Okay, then we need 2 of each of the side pieces, so they're both the same, so we need 1 for each of them, and then 1 for each of them. And these ones, I've used that corner piece and the small little flower to add my stamped decoration. I've also done a gift tag that says thank you so much. I've cut a second one as well, just in case I want to back them. Haven't decided where I'm going to put the gift tag yet, whether I'm going to hang it or have it on like the front of the box on a decorative panel. So then I've also got multiples of these panels as well. I'm thinking of lining the inside of the lid with these panels here, which I'll tell you how I did that in a minute. And then these ones, I'm thinking this is going to be the top where I've used the different corners and stuff on there. And then I was thinking of using these 2 to cover the sides of the box as well. And then this one I think I'm going to use as a panel on the front of the box, just to make it look different as well, and maybe even put the thank you in the centre of that. Haven't decided yet, but these are all the pieces that I've got to do it so far. So I've got 5 of the rectangles, 1 of this scallop piece, and 1 of each of the side pieces to go inside as well. So I'm not 100% sure which ones of them I'm definitely going to use, but I thought I'd get them all ready. The silver that is splattered on here and the silver that I stamped this with, it's not in the kit, but it is the Silver Mist Nuvo glitter marker. I'm pretty sure this was in a kit recently because it was on the top of my pot of glitter markers, so it can't be that long since we've had the silver glitter marker in the kit. So I thought I would use that, and you can just, when you're stamping with a glitter marker, you just have your stamp and you use the side of the tip of the marker just to add the colour onto there, and then you could either like breathe on it or spray a tiny little bit of water. I feel like I've explained that relatively recently, so you've probably seen it recently in a video as well. And then to do the splattering, all you do is you just like pump the pen on the side of your glass mat as you would when you're like activating it, and you'll get a little puddle of the sparkly ink. Then you can add a little bit of water to that and then flick it on with a paintbrush as well to give that sort of splattered kind of look. So let's start with putting the side pieces together, and then we'll put the bottom on the box as well. So I've got my 2 side pieces here. I've just used 3mm red liner tape on them all because I think 6mm would be slightly too wide. And then we're just going to attach the 2 panels together, just matching up the cut line of one with the score line before the glue tab on the other one. And then we need to fold all of this. So we've got multiple lines just to fold them all, and last one with the glue tab. And you should be able to, because this is even sided, we should be able to go like that and stick the last one down. So when I did the photographic step by step, I actually did glue and then tape and then a tiny little bit of glue as well, but you can do it whichever way you want really. So we're just going to place that together like that. And then we can press it down. You see it goes nice and flat. Okay, so this is the main body of the box, and then we've got to make the top and the bottom. So for both of these you need, oh, that's making a shadow. For both of these you need this piece and then 1 of each of these pieces, because they are both different. They're both the opposites to each other to create your lid or your base. You do them in exactly the same way, although we are going to change the lid slightly because we want to try and do it as like a flip lid. So I've definitely, oh no, I've picked the wrong one actually. This one. Okay, I've already put tape on the other one to do the flip lid. So I'm sorry if you can hear the building work. I keep stopping, but I'm getting fed up, so I'm just going to keep going. Hopefully you can't hear it too much. So this is how you want the net of the lid and the base to be. So you want to be sticking these two here, and think about which way round these are, because this tab is short, so it's going to be sticking on the short side here, and then there's no glue tab here, so we want the longer glue tab to stick along this longer side. So that's how you know you've got the sides on the right sides. So I'm just going to take the tape off of these, and we're just going to place this under here, so we're matching up the score line to the cut line of the side of the bottom of the box, and then the same on this one as well. So then we've got our final net of the bottom of the box. So now you just want to fold all of them, and they're all just going away from you. It's a really simple box to put together like that. There's no sort of thinking about valley folds and mountain folds and stuff. It all just folds away from you. And we can fold all of the glue tabs. If you're using a thicker cardstock, you might want to burnish these with your glide folder or your creasing tool or a bone folder. But because we're just using the Craft Perfect, it's only 216 GSM, so you can just get away with just using your fingers to fold it as well. So then we want to put the rest of this bottom of the box together. So I'm just going to do it all at once, but you can do one side at a time if you want to. I just think it's a little bit quicker to do it all at once, and I have put one of these together already, so I know how it goes together. I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue just to help it really bond, and then we're just going to do as we usually do with any of the Tonic boxes and fold up like this, so you're matching up the cut line with the score line against the glue tab and sort of pressing from the inside to really stick the glue tab together. And then we've got the little short side to do. You'll know if you've put these two sides on the wrong way round when you start to do this, because you'll realise that like the glue tabs don't match up with the side pieces, so you won't have to unpick too much if you do put them on the wrong way round, so that's good to know. And last side, just make sure we line that up straight, and then that's it for the bottom of the box. Or if you wanted to make these as like little gift holders, maybe even handmade like tea lights as well, you could probably get 2 tea lights in there, or a stack of 4, you know, like 2 on top of each other and next to each other, or chocolates, or something knitted, or a bath bomb, a bar of soap, all sorts of stuff. You could just use this as like a little display tray for that as well. Or even Nuvo, you could fit like 2 full-size Mica Mists in there, would fit really nicely as well. If you wanted something to like divide up a box that you've got all your sprays in or something, you could use it for that kind of thing too, so very versatile. So for the bottom of the box, you obviously just want to place the inside in. If you kind of bow it like this, it's much easier to get it to go in there, and then that will be the bottom of your box. Now usually you would have all of the intricate panels to decorate the sides, and you know that would be part of the design, and you'd have the small piece along the bottom and everything. But for my one, because I'd already done one like that, I wanted to kind of do it a little bit differently, so I'm going to kind of disguise these pieces by adding these panels on afterwards. So I'm going to put the top on first, just in case we need to hide any other bits as well. But I think that's what I want to do, to kind of make it look a little bit different and show you a different way of using it. So let's make the top. So the way we're going to do the top to be slightly different, and to do this kind of lifting up portion, I hope this is going to work, otherwise I'm going to look silly. But what I've done is I've stuck some strong tape on the back of this tab, which would usually be one side of the lid or the base, and then I'm going to cut these glue tabs off. So I'm going to just take some scissors and snip these glue tabs off, because this bit is going to stick to the box, but we want this to still like freely open, so we don't want these glue tabs, we're not going to need them to stick to anything. So I'm going to put that like that, and then again we're doing this with the sides, but we do want to make sure they're the right way round again, so we want the long glue tab towards the long side as well. So we can just add these. Oh, I probably should put a little bit of wet glue on this, because it'll be opened and closed a few times. So again, we're doing this exactly the same as we did the bottom of the box, but it's just that we've cut off that glue tab, or the glue tab on both sides. Okay, so we've got that so far. Then we want to score everything, or fold it, pre-fold it, just as we did before, but we've just got one less glue tab on each side. I really hope this is going to work. I think it's going to be a really cool little box if it does work. Okay, so now we're going to stick these two edges together. So I'll do them both at the same time. So I've only got to put the glue on sort of once. So we'll put a tiny bit on there, tiny bit on there. Okay, so then we want to just pull these round and stick them on like that, just like we did before. Okay, and then my idea is that you could place that onto there, you would stick this at the back, and then the lid will just open like that. And because we're going to line the inside, I'm hoping that will make it a tight enough fit that you know, it will be really nice and secure on there. And if we're going to put the side panels on as well, it should make it nice and secure. So I'm going to put some of the panels on the inside. I might not do the side ones yet, just in case adding the side panels on the outside makes it too thick, but we'll definitely do these two on the inside first. So we're going to do this large one to just line. You don't have to line the inside. I just thought, because I'm not adding the panels to the outside and I've only used a thinner cardstock, it would be better to reinforce it a little bit with some extra panels. Okay, so we've got those stuck on the inside. Then we want to actually decide, do we want both the small tabs to be on one side and then this to overlap onto that front panel? Does that look weird? Because then I was thinking of adding this panel on here. So we could put it like that maybe, and then we could have the little thank you. We could do it like that, or we could do it like this with the thank you. Doesn't really make much of a difference. I suppose it just depends what you want to see on the back. Although I quite like the idea of just having the two short panels on the back of it actually. So I think I might do that. So the way I stuck the base to this one is I took some wider red liner tape and I just put a strip all the way around the bottom of this box. And on the two short sides as well. I know this, you want to check that this tape isn't wider than this portion, then you know it's not going to show. You know, you're not going to have like a sticky bit poking up. Just make sure the tape is narrower than the shortest portion. So I did this, and then I took off the backing of all of these. This just helps to make it like doubly secure, because this is going to be the bottom of the box. You know, depending what you're going to put in it, you might want to put like miniature bottles of alcohol in it or something, and then you're going to need it to be quite sturdy. And then to make it be a nice secure kind of fit, we want this to still be stuck, even though we've only put the tape around the bottom. It's just so we didn't get it in the wrong kind of place, but we want like all of these edge pieces to be stuck down nicely. So if we use our Deluxe adhesive to go around and make sure all of these edges will be stuck down nicely, and then we can add some extra as well, because if we add some more further down, it will help us be able to like maneuver it just a little bit, because the tape won't stick straight away. And so we just do that. We've got the sticky at the bottom, and we just squish it in like that, and then we let go, and then you can press from the inside to get this to stick all the way around. You can hold this for as long as you need to, and if you can't get your hands inside, you can always get your glide folder and like press from the inside and make sure it's firmly stuck down as well. So that is the main portion of the box, but again, don't forget what I said earlier. You could have made this a lot taller, so you could have had a really tall kind of box, depending what you're going to put in it. Actually, maybe it wouldn't, no. If you made skinnier cards, if you made DL, no, because DL cards are that same width, aren't they? No. If you made skinnier cards deliberately, you could probably make this into a card box if you wanted to. Or like little notelets, just like fronts of cards that people could write on the back of. That would go really nicely in here. So that is the base of the box, and I want to do it so that both of the short sides are on the back of it, because I think that looks quite nice. So I'm going to take the tape off of here, and I'm going to fold that backwards, I think, to try and help me line this up, and then I'm going to try and line that score line up with the top edge of the box. Don't know how well I'll be able to show it. Oh, that should be alright, I think you can see. So I'm just going to try and line that score line up. So hopefully this will now close nicely, and it does. So you can see there how it's a little bit loose. So I'm going to try just the side panels first, and then if that is too loose, then we can put the other side panels on the inside to make it tighter so that it will stay shut. So I just need to decide with the side panels, do I make the little flowery thing face that way, or do I make it face that way on both of them? I'm going to do it facing forwards. So but again, you could be using all the decorative panels to decorate this as well. You don't have to have stamped on it. You could make it look more like this, but just with the flippy up lid rather than the lid that you take off. So I can just line those panels up, press from the inside, and then do the same on the other side so the flower is facing that way. I know we've covered up the stamping on that side, but sometimes you just don't know, and obviously it's much easier to have stamped everything while it's flat, and it only takes a few seconds to add those stamps on, so it doesn't really matter that we've covered it up. But let's see if that works to keep it shut. It's made it a little bit less loose, so fingers crossed if we just add these interior panels here, that will make it tight enough to stay shut. Hopefully it will. If not, I'm not sure how to sort it out. I might have to add even more panels on or something to make it a bit thicker. But hopefully this should be enough. And then we've just got this one to go on here. I can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm just sticking the other panel on the inside. Oh, moved it. Okay, so fingers crossed this should keep it shut nicely. Yay, it did work. So having the outside panel and an inside panel just gave enough width to make the box stay shut really nicely. So now we've got our box that looks different to the other one because we've done a flip lid, but also looks different because we've got the two bigger panels on the front and the two smaller panels on the back to make it look different as well. Then I was going to put this one on the top, but I might put this one on the top, and then we could have that one on the front and put the thank you in the middle of it so we're not covering up any of the pattern. I'm not sure exactly. I quite like it like that actually. Just, yeah. I think I like it like that. I don't know whether to snip the whole off of that or just leave it. I think I'll just leave it. So I'm gonna, this is how I work, by the way. If you wondered how I work, I usually just cut all the pieces out and then see if it works when it goes together. So I thought I would do it on camera this month, just to show you. So that can go there. Then I'll stick this one on the top. And then we could put the thank you there, we could put the thank you there, we could actually make it as a gift tag and it could just, actually that looks quite nice like that. Okay, I might do that instead. So we could tie some twine around it. We could put some twine through the hole. I hope this video doesn't end up being too long, but hopefully this was just helpful to help you figure out how you're going to put your box together and stuff as well. So I think it might look quite nice just being like that. So if I cut that shorter and then just use a piece of foam tape behind it so it's not dangling, it's kind of just stuck there. There, I quite like that. And then we could also add some more twine around it as well if we wanted. We could do the wrapping around the bottom as well. I don't know actually, I quite like it how it is. It's quite a nice masculine box, although this one does look quite masculine too. And again, you could add the corners onto this to make it look different. You could do some more stamping on any of these panels as well. But it's just like a really simple version, this one. This one looks really like decorative and this one looks a bit more simple. Kind of reminds me of chalkboard, probably because I've done the silver on the black. But yeah, I really like how that one turned out actually. I'm glad that does work as a different kind of closure mechanism and it stays shut because of the panels as well. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video and showing you the construction of this box and kind of how to alter it. So if you want to see how to put this one together, it's practically the same really. You're just making the bottom that I showed you here and doing it twice and using one as the lid. But there should be a photographic step-by-step with written instructions on the Tonic blog or website. They usually link it underneath the product on the page, so if you go to the page for kit number 40 it should be there. And then I've also done the video version to show you how to do like a flip top to it as well, with much simpler kind of decoration to it too. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. I hope I gave you enough up close looks at the products and stuff as well. I know a lot of you enjoy seeing things really up close, so hopefully you were all pleased with that. And don't forget to look out for the sped up video with the cards as well. I'm not sure if it's going to be out the day after this video. It might be a couple days after, I'm not sure, depending on which other videos I've got to put up as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this up close or unboxing video of kit number 40, and I hope you had a really lovely new year. This is the first video I'm filming in 2021, so I hope you had a lovely new year, and I will see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching, bye!